Hey there, how there, ho there, Chef Cutter Diamond. Welcome to yet another Stone Cold Hockey video. We're doing the 74-75 NHL season. We're doing the Philadelphia Flyers primarily because, them trying to go back to back with the Stanley Cup and having Freddie Perron in net, who was just fan freaking tastic, and of course Bill Barber, former Kitchener Ranger. As you can see, Philly on the summary are 6-0. The Islanders, the Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks are the only three teams in the NHL to not lose a game. So it'll be a battle to see who will be the last undefeated team standing. Reggie Leach leads the goal scoring with 8 goals. Marcel Dion, his last year before he went to LA, with 6 goals. Bill Goldsworthy, the man for Waterloo, Ontario, 6 goals. Points wise, Marcel Dion is in the lead. Reggie Leach and Bobby Clark are fighting tooth and nail for second place. Goals against, Bernie Perrant 4-0 with only giving up 3 goals with 2 shutouts. Gary Edwards a pretty good goals against. Wayne Stevenson, our backup goalie. The standings, teams have played 5, 6, or 7 games. Pittsburgh's only played 4, which was weird. Points percentage wise, the Rangers should be able to catch those pesky Atlanta Flames for third. Remember, it's the top 3 teams from each division that move on. The top team from each division get a bye in the quarterfinals, and then the others have to go through a preliminary round. So it's a dogfight between LA, Montreal, and Pittsburgh for second behind Detroit. Highlights, well, Kansas City's yet to win a game. Chicago, others affiliate, yet to have a bad defeat. 6 hat-tricks, Don Lever, Reggie Leach, Rene Robert, John Marks, and Marcel Dion. Most memorable game, California, Boston 5-5 on October 20th when Cali was up 5-3, but in the third period, Hodgson Savard scored to tie the game. The Rangers' 14-1 win over Washington is the second most memorable game because of the 14 freaking goals scored. And the third most memorable game right now is Cal and Rangers filing tooth and nail. The Rangers having to win, scoring in the last 50 seconds. We're going to look at the schedule. Philly goes out west, and they'll first play LA, and it will be Gary Edwards in that against Bernie Perrant. Stevenson and Taylor, the backups for Philly. Rogie not playing for LA, which is kind of weird. Rogie reinvented his career with the Kings after being dumped by the Habs for the one that can't trade it. The Flyers having Reggie Leach, the Riverton rival, Rick McLeish, pretty great player, Bill Barber, Kitchener, Bobby Clark, captain, my captain, who lived with type 1 diabetes, Ross Lonsberry, Bill Clement, who would be a good color commentator in the NHL for ABC, Gary Dornhofer doing his job for Hockey Night in Canada as a color commentator, Andre Moose DuPont, Bob Hound Cowie, R.S. Kinderchuk, Don Bale, Big Bird Selesky, Tom Bladen, who once had 7 points in a game as a defenseman, or was it 8? I can't remember. Dave the Hammer Schultz, Terry Crisp, who would coach the 89 Flames to the Stanley Cup, Jimmy and Joe Watson, Larry Goodenough, good enough, I guess. Ed Van Imp, the bruising hitter, especially the Farley Harlamoff, and the Super Series 76. Ted Harris, former Hub, Bob Sawar, Serge Lachonez, and Jack McElhaney. The Kings with Bob Nevin, the former Toronto Maple Leaf icon, Mike Murphy, future Leafs head coach, Dan Maloney, future Leaf head coach, Butch Goring, who would be traded to the Islanders in 1980. It was basically called the first major move of a trade deadline. Juha Winning, a good Finnish player. Bob Berry, future coach of the Habitants. Tom Williams. I don't think that's the same Tom Williams who was an American, like almost the only American in the NHL in the 60s. Frank C. Marcel, former Blue. Don Kozak. Bob Murdoch, another future head coach, this time with the Jets. Mike Corrigan, Gene Carr, former Blue. Terry Harper, former Habitant. Neil Komodowski, Sheldon Kangizer, Kitchener. Look it up, people. Larry Brown, not the head coach of the NBA. Vic Finesky and Dave Hutchinson. Remember, I'm only talking about the non-goalies. 5 minutes into the game, McLeish can't do anything about it. 5 more minutes. The Kings can't do anything about it. 5 more minutes. Aggression? Hopefully, apparently, it's Bill Barber. FLYERS, the Tom drum. Tom Williams the second is scoring in car. Damn you, Moose. Dan Maloney gets hit. No shot, and we're down by 1 goal after 20 minutes, which is unusual. 4 minutes later. Don Kozak, no. No shot by the Kings. The red dice for the home team. Action, Philly Skiers! Baby on board, how adored. In a Homer's Barbershop Quartet by the Barber. Bill Barber. Kitchener! From Dornhofer and Leach. Ties it. Much later. Denver Skiers! The Riverton Rifle, his ninth. Booyakasha from McLeish. 2-1. 4 minutes later. Battle of Horses. 2 hits, no problems. Which we have time. Selesky. Oh, Big Bird almost scored. Matthews can't take a shot, and we have the lead after 40 minutes. 2-1. Contact. 3 more minutes. Williams again from Kensington and Nevins make it 2-2. 1 minute later. Johnny Kosak finally breaks the gut from Nevin, makes it 3-2. Oh boy. Session. Hammer. At least we killed the zone. Enforcer, fight. There's a fight. Lonsbury and Nevin. So Lonsbury sacrifices himself. And Bubba Cook's on the attack. Oh, Captain, my captain has 4 from Kindrachuk. We are tied. Lonsbury and Nevin are in the box. Their top player, one of our players. And that will do it. The Flyers and Kings after 3 periods, 3-3 after 3. The only problem was the NHL did not do regular season overtime starting in 1942 until 1983. I mean, they did it to reduce time for World War II because of wartime measures, but they never fixed it for the 70s or even the early 80s. So the game ends in a 3-3 tie. Perront and Edwards, the two goalies with the best goals against, they put himself to a 3-3 tie. We tied the game in the last 3 minutes to avoid DL. So Williams with 2 goals for the Kings. Kozak 2, Barber, Leach, and Black. So yep, 3-3 tie, which means the rules of the time were, of course, no regular season overtime until 1983. So we couldn't get an overtime. Anyway, okay, some games. Chicago crushes Washington. They're still undefeated. Kansas City beats California 5-2. Plas beats Simmons. California goes by Stewart and Gilbertson, but Gilbert, Nollet, Robert Burns, I guess, Gilbert and Croteau scoring for the Scouts. Blues beat the Rangers. Boston beats Pittsburgh. The battle of the rivalry. Montreal crushes Toronto 5-2. Boston beats St. Louis. LA beats Buffalo. We are 6-0. We go to California to face the Seals. Minnesota beats Atlanta, and Vancouver beats Kansas City. So we go face the Golden Seals. It will be Bernie in the nets again against Gilles Meloche this time, who's the backup to Gary Simmons, but Simmons with the Cobra on his mask. So Gilles Meloche, who would go on to play for the Barons and the North Stars, if you will. I think he retired in 1985. Anyway, the Flyers, the Golden Seals, the 75 version of the Golden Seals. Dave Herkowski, Larry Petit, John Stewart, Stan Weir, future Edmonton Oiler, Al McAdam, future North Star, who would be a hero for in 1981, sinking the 1980, sinking the 4-time champion Montreal Canadiens in the playoffs. Dave Gardner, not the same Dave Gardner on YouTube. I wish it was. Joey Johnston, Ron Houston, Butch Williams, Rick Hampton, Charlie Simmer. Yeah, he was a Golden Seal before he was a King and part of the Triple Crown line. Bob Stewart, Jim Moxie, Wayne King, Len Freak, Jim Nielsen, Morris Mott, Frank Spring, Brian Lavender, Fred Ahern, Craig Patrick, who would go on to do great things as a general manager, Stan Gilbertson, Mike Christie, and George Pisot. But remember, we talk about the non-goalies. 2 minutes into the game, they have a chance. Much later, we're killing the clock on them. 3 minutes more. No hit. 3 more minutes. They have a chance? No. Much later. No score through 20 minutes. Now, actually, normally, if with me doing for one team. I in a not a full season playthrough, but played through it in a sense, like the 71 halves, for example. If the 71 halves were to lose or tie a game, then I would simulate the next game until there's a W on the board. Now I would do that and simulate the Philly California game, but because I'm undefeated, might as well keep going. Seals, frig. What the frig? No shot. Shot skills. Power play go. Riverton rifle. His 10th from Bill Barber. Kitchener. 1-0. And then aggression. Of course we get a penalty if Van Imp. Well, I kind of did it. See how many penalties we get. Skills. Mats Blamato. His first from Tarkovsky and Johnston. Oh boy. Hit. Much better. Chance for Kelly. Stop by Perrant. 1-1 after 40 minutes. Come on. 4 more minutes. Jet skiers. Dornhofer. Yay. His third from Bill Barber. Good old Dornhofer. Barber looking good. Jet for skiers. Kitchener. Kitchener. And anyway, baby on board. Oh, I adored. His third from Bladen and Joey Watson. 3 more minutes. Aggression. Don't forget penalized. It's Dornhofer. And they score Sakachi from Pate and Hampton. They get 3-2. 4 more minutes. Battle action. Thank goodness. Much later. They have a chance. No. Empty net. Bill Clement. Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling Clementine. His fourth from Harrison Clark. I love that comment. Nevertheless, Clement from Harrison Clark. And it looks good for us. And Reggie Leach puts in a goal for good measure. 5-2. We pound them. We do it. Clark with the assist. Bobby Clark's an icon. I kind of hate Bobby Clark. Flyers. The Flyers. Seriously, the Flyers. But hey, Bill Barber played for them. And Steve Mason did. And Mike Richards at one time did. So we're 7-0-1. Saturday night. And it feels all right. We go to Vancouver, West Coast. The Canucks. Battle California, and the Seals win 2-1. Malasha for Professional. Weir and Houston scoring. Maloney for LA. Wow, the two teams we beat. Montreal shockingly loses on Saturday night at home, but it was Bunny LaRock's fault, not Dryden's fault. Detroit goes by Sean Hamel, future Hab, Lynch, Anderson, Libet, and Nowak. Montreal goes by Steve Shutt, Murray Wilson, Guy Lapointe, and Yvonne Lambert. Islanders beat the North Stars narrowly 3-2. Chico over Manico. As Rumble, Bourne, and Billy Harris scored to make sure the Islanders stay undefeated. Rangers Pittsburgh tie. Buffalo beats St. Louis. Chicago loses in Toronto, so we're down to 2 undefeated teams in the NHL. Pierre Hamel over Tony Esposito. And Hawks were up 3-1. Rhoda, Corral, and Papin, the former Leaf, scoring. Tim Ecclestone scoring for the Leafs. I didn't know he played for the Leafs. George Ferguson, then Ron Ellis, Dick Dunn, and Blaine Stoughton, future Whalers icon. So we go to Vancouver, play the Canucks, and it is Bernie in the net against Gary Suitcase Smith, Ken Lockett, and Bruce Bullock, his backup. Gary Smith actually got himself out of Vancouver because he actually insulted Arthur Griffiths, who was the owner of the Canucks, his wife, calling her a resemblance on a pet food tin. Here are the Canucks non-goalies. Don Fat Lever at center. John Gold playing right. Jerry O'Flaherty. I think he was a Kitchener Ranger. I'll have to take a look. I feel like Jerry O'Flaherty was. He was American. But did he play for the Kitchener Rangers? Or am I going... His name sounds familiar. No, I am not. I am not making it up. He was a Kitchener Ranger. I thought I saw that at one time. But yeah, Jerry O'Flaherty was a Kitchener Ranger. One scoring 40 goals. And in the draft eligible year, 36 overall. Wow. The stuff you know. Dennis Benford, Leon Rochefort, Paulin Baudelaire, sorry, Bobby Lalonde, Andre Boudrias, a lot of French Canadians in Vancouver. Chris Olufsen, Jerry Monahan, who was a number one draft pick, I think, at one time. Boudrias, I think he was known for the headband. Bob Daly, Greg Bodie, Jerry Meehan, another former relief. Tracy Pratt, I think Babe Pratt's son. Ron Suderbauer, I remember he was a former Kitchener Ranger, Suderbauer. Wow, two former Canucks, 275 Canucks on the Kitchener Rangers. You know what I mean. John Grisdale, Dennis Kearns, Harold Snaps, a young Harold Snaps, that is. Barry Wilkins, and Jim Mayer. Anyway, that's fight. 3 minutes from the game. That ticket penalty was Olsen. Can we take advantage? Zaleski. Ooh. Shutsky. Power play goal. Do 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 do. Yeah, Murder She Wrote. Rollinsberg his third from Kindrachuk and Clack. Much later. Aggression? Lalonde. Can we take advantage? McLeish? Damn it. I was hoping to take advantage. 3 more minutes. Take a chance? McLeish? No. Last moments of the first. That's good! Olufsen from Vandergaard and Lalonde. It's comeback. And they have more ties than wins. That's creepy. 4 minutes into the period. Skiers, baby, on board. How I adore Kitchener. Bill Barber has 4 from McLeish and Clark. 3 more minutes. Vancouver chance? No. Much later. Battle of the Reggie Leach? Damn it. It would have been a great chance. Much later. Vancouver chance? Skiers! His third from Bordeaux and Cairns. We're tied at 2. After 40 minutes. Well, let's see what happens. Battle? Ouch. We deliver a hit. That's what we do. Vancouver takes it to Bobby Lamont. Oh, what a stop by Bernie. A few more minutes. No shot. Did we take advantage? No. Much later. I have a chance of Flaherty. No, sir. Bobby Lalonde. Birdie's on his head. And Vancouver takes the penalty on Grisdale. Could we take advantage? Leach can't. Scores! With 7 seconds left, Dornhofer from McLeish. We score on the power play game set match. We beat the Canucks 3-2 with 7 fucking seconds left. And why is it not a power play goal? It has to be. Grisdale took it at the 18-minute mark. That's 2 minutes. That's a minute 53. Nevertheless, we beat the Canucks 3-2 on a last-second goal by Dornhofer. Yippee-ki-yay, mother. And we are now 8-0-1. Wow, this team is good. I have never seen a team. 8-1. Frig. Well, Chicago's not undefeated. The Cupcakes are. Obviously, we won't play 3 games in 3 days. That'd be stupid. Boston crushes Kansas City. Montreal falls flat to Buffalo. Chicago ties St. Louis. Atlanta and the Rangers tie. Toronto beats Washington 6-3. I don't know. Islanders play California. They should be able to win. They do, narrowly, 3-2. Billy Smith beats Al Simmons. They were down 2-1, but Westfall and Gillies in the third period won the game. Detroit, Vancouver. Vancouver wins. Man, we're still not playing yet. So many days off. Islanders, are they still undefeated? Yes, they are. They beat the Rangers 4-2. Smith beats Vermeer. They were down 2-0 after 2 periods, but Gillies with 2 goals. Nystrom and Henning scoring for the Cupcakes. They're now 7-0-2. We host those pesky Rangers next. St. Louis LA tied. Montreal beats Washington. So we're 8-1. I can't believe it. The two undefeated teams in the NHL both are in the same division, and everyone else has lost at least twice. With Boston, Chicago, and Vancouver losing the fewest, twice. And we gave Vancouver that loss. Reggie Leach now has to share the goal scoring thing with Bill Goldsworthy, who's got 11. So yeah, us and the Islanders. Yeah, Atlanta would also make the playoffs. The Rangers, what the hell is going on with that team? Chicago, Vancouver, Minnesota, and the Smythe. St. Louis is trying to catch them. In the Adams, it's Boston, Buffalo, Toronto, Montreal, LA, Detroit in the Norris. Barry Perron's still the best goalie in the world. Billy Smith and Gary Everts are chasing him for goals against, but we have 2 shutouts by 1. Brady Perron. That's what you do. That's what you freaking do. And hopefully we keep the streak going. Anyhow, Jeff, I'm going to do.